Hello there, it's Tania Gabrielle, Wealth Astrologist. Welcome to Star Codes, where we look at an upcoming event in the stars and numbers, the astrology and numerology. And in this case, it is an incredible week, an intense week, but a week of awakening. We have 3 squares with incredible planets, mostly outer planets, and 2 of the 3 squares involve Jupiter, the planet of the month. Literally, Jupiter just entered Cancer, as you know, the sign of its exaltation, the most powerful sign for Jupiter, and it will be in Cancer for a year. And Jupiter blesses us twice in these 3 squares. Now, the squares themselves tend to be very activating. They're all about action and getting you motivated to maybe do things you might not have done otherwise. So it's a big call to break away from restriction or repression and do what fires you up in general. So the first 2 squares happen on the same day, June 15th, and that's a very special day. I'll go into the numerology code in a bit, but it truly is a time of welcoming a new consciousness with these 2 squares. They involve Jupiter squaring Saturn and Mars squaring Uranus. And this energy is like a bifurcation that is emerging, literally a fork in the road, and it is deeply felt within you. It is like a split that inspires those who feel this vigilant urge to be unified with source, with consciousness, to stay on course, a state of being that constantly presents you that choice of being in the flow or not, right? Where you actually look at anything and notice anything that feels just a bit off and pay attention to it and move in the direction that you're being steered away from. Of course, the other choice is you stay the course regardless of any red lights that show up. So that's really the bifurcation that you're going to feel much more now. It's going to be much more clear. So with Jupiter now in Cancer, which is a cardinal sign and which is the sign opposite Capricorn, which I'll go into more in a moment, we are directed with Jupiter in Cancer to find joy at home, internally and externally, to learn to resonate with that sense of wisdom and joy and expansion in our physical surroundings and in our heart. That means seeding our life with joy, with wisdom, with abundance, with expansion. And now Jupiter is about to create that 90-degree square to Saturn. And this square happens at 1 degree Cancer, where Jupiter is, and 1 degree in Aries, where Saturn is. And Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn, which is the sign opposite Cancer, which is where Jupiter is. So there's a much greater tension now for this square than there might have been. Now, Jupiter is the greater benefic, and Jupiter literally supports a positive understanding and expression when it touches a planet, even if it is in an opposition or square. So with Saturn, that means we're really focusing on being more practical, more responsible, and that actually brings us a sense of growth and wisdom and positivity. Now, Cancer, where Jupiter is a water sign. It's very sensitive, very warm, protective, intuitive. And so this square between Saturn and Jupiter is a significant reminder to focus on inner nurturing. It's like a reminder to not discard what we learned, but to truly take it to heart and let go of those things that have not stood the test of time. Saturn governs time, Chronos, and move forward so that energy that is redundant and not useful anymore does not keep growing, right? We need to plant new seeds now. Remember that Saturn is at the very beginning of Aries. This square happens with Saturn at 1 degree Aries. Aries is the first sign, and Saturn moved into Aries with Neptune. And they're both at the beginning of the zodiac right now. Neptune takes 156 years or so to move around the zodiac. So this is a really, really potent moment in general, just looking at Saturn and Neptune at the beginning of Aries. But in this case, we got this square with Jupiter, so it's making everything bigger. And so we are then expanding in our heart, our wisdom, our inner growth, our growth in general. We're learning to let go, which is opening our heart. And so that then also means that the inner tension that's created by this square is breaking down long-held beliefs or limiting circumstances, right? The beliefs are governed by Jupiter. So you may be a little bit uncertain about your future or which direction to go. That is normal. And what will help you immensely is taking more responsibility for your personal growth, your happiness, and focusing on implementing those positive changes that will leave a lasting impact in your life. And those changes were inspired or are inspired because we're in the midst of this energy already. And just so you know, in the long run, you're going to have a new attitude, a new outlook. Professional advancement is going to unfold more easily because Saturn governs our career. It governs with Capricorn the 10th house of our profession and what our destiny is, our mission. Now, one little tip with Saturn square Jupiter is you want to guard against spending on luxury items and focus only on spending on what truly matters. So in terms of the numerology code, Sunday, the 15th of June, 15 is a very beautiful number. It's the number of spiritual alchemy. And as it happens, June in 2025 is a 15 universal month. So we're in a 9 universal year in 2025, and then June is a 15 universal month, and this happens on the 15th. So double 15 sequence code is being activated on the day that Mars squares Uranus and Jupiter squares Saturn. And that will intensify the energy even more. So what does 15 bring? It brings magic, spiritual alchemy, joy, abundance, upliftment, a magical energy. It's very similar to the Jupiterian energy, very positive and about love as well, because 15 reduces to 6. And 6 is the number of love and abundance and responsibility. And not only that, but the whole date, 6/15/2025, adds up to 21. So it's a 21 universal date. And 21 is the number of our current century. And 21 represents the truth shall set you free. It is very artistic. It's very expressive. 21 reduces to 3. 2 plus 1 is 3. And 15 reduced to 6, as I said, and 3 and 6, those single digit numbers are in the love, self-expression, and creativity triad in numerology. So, as I said, there are 2 squares on June 15th. The second one is Mars square Uranus. This one will just activate a sense of wanting to be free. It has a strongly liberating impact, but there's got to be something that gives to release the tension. And since Mars can be aggressive and Uranus unpredictable, there can be an unleashing of energy that just really releases. It can be somewhat volcanic, or like a sense of fire with Mars and the Earth moving. So you definitely will have an urge, if you are in a situation where you need to break away from restriction and authority, to actually do that. The thing you want to watch is not communicating with anger or aggression or in a rash way. So it helps to dissipate that highly potent energy surge is to plan time this weekend and even beyond the weekend for some fun, for taking an adventure, maybe going on a drive, doing something with your body, moving your body. You also want to focus on creative breakthroughs because Uranus governs genius and the innovation within you, the inner adventurer and the inner inventor. So anything that really inspires you, you want to activate, because the stimulation that's generated under this transit of Mars square Uranus actually really, really good when you use it positively for taking your life into a new level of awareness and understanding, the new dawn of consciousness. So many quick decisions might have to be made around this time. You definitely want to prepare for surprising developments. They are already in play now as I film this video, which is on the 12th of June. And you want to embrace the unusual. It's really an ideal time to manifest powerful change in your life. And then we have a third square, which happens on June 18th, a few days later, and it also involves Jupiter. This time Jupiter is square to Neptune. And these are the big expansion planets. So Neptune has no boundaries. It's about dreams and other dimensions and just pure creativity and love or delusion. And when it is square to Jupiter, you may question your old beliefs and previous ideas about deep subject matters. And you might even have a change of faith, a change of belief. So you want to, no matter what it is that you discover, do something about what it is you realize. You want to guard against being in denial, running away from what you find or what you learn, and in a sense, avoiding the wisdom that you uncover. You want to be aware that that will not help you in the long run. It will cause more issues down the road. So these are incredible squares that are lining up in the middle of June to help us then move into the final push. Remember, all 5 outer planets are changing signs. We have one more to go. That is Uranus, which will be moving into Gemini in early July. So these squares are essentially, because one of them involves Uranus and 2 of them involve Jupiter, which was literally the 4th of 5 planets, just moved into 0 degrees Cancer. Well, Uranus is moving to 0 degrees Gemini. And again, we don't have any reference point in history, in astrology, of when this ever happened prior to now. So it is an epic event. It will impact us for decades to come. And we're in the midst of it now. So these squares, which involve Neptune and Uranus and Saturn and Jupiter and then also Mars, amazing, right? This is a huge moment where the energy is coming into a moment of tension to in a sense, if there's something you haven't seen or haven't accepted or haven't uncovered yet, it will be made visible. You will be made aware of things that you were not paying attention to or weren't aware of prior to now. And you must act on them. You must do something to match the energy of wisdom that is uncovered. So Jupiter is really the big planet that's activated the most in all of these squares. And of course, Jupiter, it's literally Jupiter month that we're celebrating that planet. And with Jupiter in Cancer, the sign of the home, you may feel with all these shifts the urge to look at where you are living, the actual location, and possibly even consider a move to a brand new area of your neighborhood, your state, your province, the country, or another country. Jupiter governs the world. Jupiter is the international planet. Now, first, it's very important to know whether the location you live in now is a positive one for you personally, especially regarding love and health, career, abundance. Have you noticed whether you feel better or more relaxed in some locations rather than others? Do you know your most fortunate places to live? Astrocartography gives you the answer. This is a wonderful branch of astrology where it superimposes your personal chart on the globe, and you can go down to the minute level of even your neighborhood, and that is done through the local space lines. We've got 3 different types of lines on your personal map. They're called their main lines, local space, and paran lines. And I have a whole free masterclass for you where you can discover the power of fortunate places. Just go to positivelocations.com and you can get instant access. You'll discover the secret power of place, the 5 critical components that make up your astrocartography profile, lots of celebrity astrocartography examples, a common mistake that people make when they go online and try to look at their lines and make sense of them, and the importance of the relocated chart, which is a vital piece of your profile before choosing where to travel or where to live. So enjoy that free masterclass at positivelocations.com and have an absolutely gorgeous week. I know there's lots of big things that are moving and big events in general that are happening, and we're going to experience more earth events as well due to all this shifting energy. That's definitely in the picture astrologically, just with the energy. So just know, when you focus on you and expanding your consciousness and seeing this as a new dawn for you to emerge and have so much more wisdom and understanding, that's really what this is all about. So I wish you all the best and a beautiful week, and I will see you in next week's Star Codes podcast. Lots of love.